So the next thing I want to talk about is appending comments from previous instances. So I had somebody talk to me earlier this week, or maybe late last week. They had we have an instrument that has additional tests that are collected for each participant, and their EKG investigator wanted to be able to see all the previous EKG comments and notes. So if somebody had come in for an EKG and then 6 months later they came in again and then came in again, that kind of thing, they wanted to be able to see all the comments from the previous EKGs instead of having to go back to the previous instances. So I created this as sort of a proof of concept. I haven't put it in their live project yet because their project's a little more complicated than this. But this is the gist of this demo here. So I just have a comment box, and then when I save and go to the next instance, I have this box up here that has the comments from the previous instance. And I have this formatted to where it has the instance and then it gives me the number of the instance. So if I say this is it's going to go to the next instance and it just adds that comment. Now, if I ran into this issue where, because I'm using smart variables for this, and I'll explain exactly how this is built in a little bit, but I'm using the smart variables for like previous instance and current instance and things like that. And so the problem is if I have a string that I'm concatenating and I don't have a value for that string, it kind of breaks everything. Because if I just left this blank and I saved it, my code wouldn't work. So I had to format I had to create a field that formats and puts in basically a default value. So if it's a blank, so if I hit save and add new instance, this just adds this no comment, so there's no comment for the third instance. And then if I say this is the final comment. So it's just a placeholder to keep track of that. And so this doesn't have to be this way. You could just have it where this comment appends to the end of this comment and this one, so it's like a long string. I felt this was a little easier, especially if you're doing like medical notes where you have large chunks of text. It might be nice to see it as sort of in a block form, plus having the instance here. If there was anything that stood out to the investigator, for example, for instance 2, they could immediately go up here to instance 2 and look at whatever EKG information was for that one. So this is how I have it built. It's relatively simple. I have a field that's just a descriptive text field, and I just have this combined comments field, and I'm just grabbing the previous instance of that value. So that's all that is there. All of the hard work is happening in these two fields here. So I have this new comment field, and then I have a formatted comment and a combined comment. And one of the reasons I have this formatted comment, like I said, I have to have a default value. But additionally, I have to grab the text from the new comment field because I can't use the calc text in this field. The calc text only works for text fields. It doesn't work for the notes fields. So I'm grabbing the value from this and putting it here so that way I can do some work on it. So this is how I'm doing this for the formatting of the text. It's this might be a little easier to see on this. So for the formatted text fields, what I'm doing is I'm hiding it, obviously, with the action tag @hidden. But here is the calc text. So I'm saying for the current instance, for the new comment field, if it's not blank, then I want to concatenate. I want to create a string. So I'm adding this instance and the number sign. And then I want to add the current instance, which is a smart variable. And then I'm adding a space with the dash and the space So for some formatting, and then I want the new comment for this current instance. So I'm creating the string, I'm formatting the comment string the way I want to see it. And if, like we talked about earlier, if this statement is true, then I want this. But if this statement is false, this here. So if the new comment is blank, then what I want to do is I want to just create the instance. I want to get the instance number here. And then I just want to add no comment to the end of that. And this is an example here. So for the instance one, this is me grabbing the comment text. And then instance two would be an example of me not having a comment. So it's going to fill that in for me. So that's formatting the comment text for here. And then to combine the comments, I have a separate field. And what I'm doing here is if the current instance equals 1, meaning that I'm opening it up, there's no previous comment, there's nothing I need to do, then all I want is the formatted comment from the current instance. So like if I had just typed in, and actually we can go back to the first one here. Because this is the first comment. So I don't have to show anything because there's nothing previously. And this is hidden. This formatted or this combined comments field is hidden. And I need, it's like every time I create a comment, I have to add the previous comment. So it just kind of keeps stacking and stacking, but I can't just use the previous, because if I just say previous, then I'm not, like if I'm on instance 3 and I say previous, I'm only getting the value from instance 2 when I need the values from instance 2 and 1 together. And the only time that's different is with instance 1, because there's nothing before it. But if the instance is greater than 1, then I'm creating a string here. Let me just, so we can see that. So I'm creating a string here that is concatenating, and this function here is called concatenate with separator. So you're specifying, so instead of me having to hand build the string here and I'm putting in these breaks here with the dash, I'm giving it one value that I want. So in between every piece that I'm concatenating, I want to have this as a separator. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm adding 2 break tag elements in the HTML, which is what puts each one of them on a separate line and adds some space in between the comments. So what I'm doing is I'm formatting the comment up here, and then and then I'm combining the previous instance and the current instance. And every previous instance has everything from it before. So if I'm on instance 4, this previous instance field, this combined comments previous instance has everything from 3, 2, and 1. And so every time I'm going forward, I'm just collecting all those. And then I'm just adding the current instance to that. So if we go back to the record here, you can see here that this is what I'm talking about. This is my previous instance. This has everything on it. But as soon as I start typing and tab out of it, last time I did this, it updated this way, but I think it just is like, so if I do save and stay, maybe? No. So it only does it when you go to the next instance, but it saves it. So this comment is saved. And then if we go back to 5, you can see the text is still here. So that was another thing that I wanted to make sure, is that if they had to, this was another reason why I wanted to have this comment box separate from all the things I'm doing, because I don't want to act upon the comment box and change anything that they've put in. I want to leave that alone. So if they ever have to go back in and change it, they can do that, but I'm not messing with it. I don't want to replace anything. I don't want to do any formatting like this in this box. I can't do it because it's a notes field, but if it was a text field, I wouldn't want to do any formatting or any changing because I'm not responsible for that data. They're responsible, and I don't want to change any of their data. So I'm just doing that from separate fields, which is always good practice. So it's really simple. It's just those 3 fields. You just need, I mean, and you really, if this was a text box, you probably wouldn't even need this format, but that would only happen if you always had a value for that text box. So you have to have a value in order for it to work, because if it's blank, you're using the current previous instances and it stops working if you have a gap. So you just have to have these three fields. You have your text box or your descriptive text field to show all of your comments as they're appended. You have the box for your new comment for that instance, the formatting, and then the combined comments. Anybody have any questions about that?
So Manny, if somebody actually edits a previous comment, it fixes all that?
Yeah, it should, because it's going to update. So like, let's go to 3 here. And this one must have been the one I left.
That was the no comment one.
Like, yeah, all the ones I could randomly pick. Yeah, because every time you enter the comment, every time you save the record, the code is being fired to generate this this string here. So for the combined comments, every time you go in, it's doing this once you save it. So if you change the value of the comment, it's going to be formatted first, and then it's going to be added to the string.